The German word schon. Beautiful but also annoying word. It's super important if you want to be proficient in German, but it can be a bit tricky because it has so many different meanings and functions. Let me show. So I tried to come up with the most important meanings and functions, and I've come up with 11 different meanings. So please grab a cup of coffee or tea and then we can start with the first meaning. So the first meaning is already. So we'll start with the more basic, more important meanings, and then towards the end, the 7th, 8th and 9th meaning, they will be a bit less frequent but still super important for natural German. So the first meaning is straightforward. It means already. When talking about time, so it's a temporal meaning, something has happened, especially sooner than expected. So let's take a look now at two example sentences. Es ist schon 8 Uhr. Wow, it's already 8 o'clock. This has happened sooner than expected. So just like the English word already. So what would the opposite be, by the way? If you think it's later, I'm sure it's 9 o'clock, but oh no, it's only 8 o'clock now. That would be erst. Es ist erst 8 Uhr. That's the opposite in this meaning. Second example sentence. Der Film hat schon angefangen. The movie has already started. It could either mean simply it has already started. It has happened in the past. The start of the movie has happened in the past. It can also mean, however, that the start of the movie happened earlier than expected. Just like in English, already covers also both of these meanings. Der Film hat schon angefangen. The opposite here would be noch nicht. Der Film hat noch nicht angefangen. The movie hasn't started yet. So in the second meaning, we have the English translation yet, and it's used in questions. Have you done this yet? And the answer can be yeah or no, I haven't done it yet. So let's take a look again. Hast du schon gefrühstückt? Have you had breakfast yet? Two options, either yes or no, obviously. So frühstücken, by the way, is the verb frühstücken, and it comes from the noun das Frühstück. So das Frühstück, breakfast, and the verb frühstücken is the verb to have breakfast, to eat breakfast. And here we have the Partizip 2 form, which together with the verb haben makes the perfect tense here. Hast gefrühstückt. Okay. Seid ihr schon da? Are you there yet? So as you can see, we can use the word schon in sentences in the past tense, like the last one, hast du schon gefrühstückt? But equally, we can use it in sentences with the present tense. Seid ihr schon da? Are you there yet? So what would be the negation, the opposite? No, we aren't there yet. In English, it's not yet. It's the same word, yet, but with the negation not. In German, we have a different word here, and that's noch nicht. Nein, wir sind noch nicht da. No, we aren't there yet. In the third meaning or function, it shows that something is ongoing. Something started in the past, but is ongoing. So it hasn't finished, it hasn't stopped. Let me show you two examples again. Arbeitet schon seit 2 Jahren hier. He has been working here for 2 years. So the start of his job in this company or in this office started 2 years ago. That was the start. But he still works there today. It hasn't changed. He hasn't quit and he hasn't gone to another company. Arbeitet schon seit 2 Jahren hier. Note how we have the present tense in German, Präsens. It's typical for these sentences. In English, you would use the present perfect progressive. He has been working. That's super tricky. In German, this is way easier. Just use the present tense. Arbeitet schon seit 2 Jahren hier. We have the preposition seit, and that's one of the dative prepositions. So die stands for dative in my videos. So 2 Jahren. Das Jahr, singular, die Jahre, plural. And the reason we got the N here is because it's dative plural. The nouns get an N in the dative plural. Arbeitet schon seit 2 Jahren hier. Next example sentence. Wir warten schon 1 Stunde. Again, present tense in German, wir warten. In English, you cannot say we wait for an hour. You need to say we have been waiting for an hour. It started an hour ago, but it's still ongoing. We're still waiting. It's not finished. It's not concluded. In English, we have been waiting for an hour. In German, you could also add the preposition in again, seit. Wir warten schon seit einer Stunde. Then it's dative because we know seit plus dative. So it's either wir warten schon eine Stunde or wir warten schon seit einer Stunde. They're the same in German. Guys, there's a big spring sale going on for my A1 course and my complete modal verbs course that covers all you need to know about the modal verbs from the A1 to the B1 level. Big spring sale going on. You can save 40% and it's valid for 10 days. You will find the link and the voucher code down below in the description box. In this next function, we combine the word schon with the word einmal. And then it means that you've done something at least once in the past. Two example sentences coming up right now. So the first one is, warst du schon einmal in Berlin? And it means, have you ever been to Berlin? So good translation for this is ever. Have you ever done this? Have you ever done that? Have you ever been to this place or this city or this country? In German, like I said, we combine the word schon with einmal. What does einmal mean if we translate it literally? Ein is the number word, one, and mal is time, so one time or once. We also have zweimal, twice, dreimal, three times. So einmal, literally, that's one time or once. And together with schon, it means ever. Have you ever done this or done that? So there's a shorter version, which we commonly use in spoken German, and that's schon mal. So the ein part is actually optional. So warst du schon mal in Berlin is more common for spoken German, and the full version, schon einmal, is more correct and more common for written formal German. To answer this, you can again use schon einmal if it's the positive answer. Ja, ich war schon mal in Berlin. So use the same word, the same words, schon einmal or schon mal. And if your answer is negative because you haven't done this yet or been to this place yet, you can use one of these two options, noch nicht or noch nie. So, nein, ich war noch nicht in Berlin or ich war noch nie in Berlin. Second example sentence, ich habe schon mal. Here I've used the more spoken, shortened version without the ein part. Ich habe schon mal rohen Fisch gegessen. I've eaten raw fish before. So it happened at least once, maybe twice or 10 times. Ich habe schon mal rohen Fisch gegessen. Sushi is quite a popular dish, I guess, which is raw fish, right? So negative answer, nein, ich habe noch nicht or ich habe noch nie rohen Fisch gegessen. So the next function is quite related to the previous one, to the fourth one. Here it means X times. Shows how many times something has happened so far. It kind of makes sense because the schon einmal, literally it meant once. So you can also say twice, 3 times, 4 times in a similar way. Let's see some examples. Ich war schon 3-mal in Paris. We have schon, then we have a number word, 3, 4, 5, and we have mal. And we write the number word and the word mal as one word here together. It wouldn't be a big mistake to write 3 and then a new word with a capital M. That's probably also correct, but not common. Anyway, ich war schon 3-mal in Paris. I've been to Paris 3 times already. So the schon means already here. That's a good translation. I've been there 3 times already. So it comes from das Mal, that's the noun. It's a neutral noun, das Mal. And like I said, einmal, zweimal, dreimal, viermal, fünfmal, and so on. These are super important words for you. Du hast mich schon 5-mal gefragt. Here someone's getting a bit angry or impatient maybe. You've asked me 5 times already. So there's one trap here, a very common mistake, and that's the verb fragen. Fragen is used with an accusative object, not dative, so it's du hast mich gefragt, not du hast mir gefragt. Avoid this common mistake. Number 6, it limits a positive statement. So there's a positive statement, but there's also a negative statement. In other words, A is not true, but B is true. Let me show you. Er hat kein Auto, aber seine Freundin schon. He doesn't have a car, but his girlfriend does. So first the negative statement, he doesn't have a car, er hat kein Auto, and then the positive statement, aber seine Freundin schon. So schon in this case means she does have a car. That's what it means. Schon means seine Freundin hat ein Auto. So it takes the statement of the previous clause or sentence and it turns the negative into a positive for this new subject. In this case, for the female friend or girlfriend, she does have a car. It's a great way of, not having to repeat lots of words. Second example. Heute habe ich keine Zeit, aber morgen schon. I don't have time today, but I will tomorrow. Also in English, you can just omit, but I will have time. That's unnecessarily long. Same in German by using this strategy. So the schon means morgen habe ich Zeit. You turn the previous negative into a positive. If you're serious about learning German, you should definitely check out my 27-hour-long Beginners A1 course. Join over 1,000 students that master the A1 German level with me. All details down below. It's the first link in the video description. So we've come to the second page now, function number 7. It's a modal particle in imperatives. It's often added in orders. So first of all, what's a modal particle? Modal particles don't really change the meaning of a sentence at all, but they change the feel, they change the color. So the good news is modal particles you can always omit. It will never be wrong or have a different meaning, but it changes the color, the vibe, the feel somehow. So here we have an imperative that's komm. In English, come. And by adding schon, it makes it a bit more harsh. Maybe you're a bit more impatient. Maybe you've told this person already twice or 3 times and it's the 3rd time now. It's a bit like that. So I wouldn't recommend using this, an imperative order in combination with schon. I wouldn't recommend using this unless you know the person well. So komm schon. Imperative, in case you forgot, just take the verb form, du kommst. That's the normal verb form, the indicative. And then you get rid of the pronoun du, we don't need that here. And also remove the ending st. And then you have the imperative form komm. Okay, second example. Sag schon. Just say it. Come on now, just say it. I mean, sag would be enough. Again, imperative, sag, say. But here, again, you're really excited, you really want to know, and it shows more emotion. It can be a bit harsh, depending on the context, or also you're super excited, you're dying to know. So that's what these modal particles do. Sag schon. So let's also revise the other imperative forms. There is the second person plural, sagt schon, when talking to more than one person. And we also have the formal you in German. How would that be? Imperative for the formal you form. That would be sagen Sie. So sag schon, sagt schon, and sagen Sie schon. I could do a whole video on this topic, imperative. If you want me to, just leave a comment down below. Number 8. Number 8, 9, and 10 will be 3 more modal particles. In this case, it's a modal particle in statements. So statement means it's not a question sentence and not an imperative sentence. It's a normal sentence, basically. That's what we call statement in grammar. And we have 3 meanings here. So modal particle in statements, part 1. Here, the meaning is it's used as a form of encouragement. Let me show you 2 examples. Du schaffst das schon. Very nice sentence that you can tell someone. I'm sure you'll be able to do it. I'm sure you'll manage. I'm sure you'll succeed. Something like that. So the schon here is trying to encourage the person. Again, modal particles can always be omitted. You can also say du schaffst das. Du schaffst das schon just gives a different color and feel. It's hard to explain, and these are things that take a long time to master. But once you do master them, once you start using them, you will really sound like a native speaker almost. So, du schaffst das schon. Schaffen is to manage, to succeed, to achieve something. And here the meaning is, mach dir keine Sorgen. So, don't worry. Don't worry, you'll be able to do it. Don't worry, you'll succeed. Whatever the context is, get the job, pass the exam, etc. Second example, das klappt schon. Very similar sentence. You mainly use schon in this meaning with this kind of verbs. So klappen is also to function, to work out, to succeed. That will work out. Das klappt schon. I'm sure it'll work out. Something like that. So klappen is like funktionieren. Something works out. We could also use the verb schaffen again. Then we would say, du schaffst das schon. So the difference is with klappen or funktionieren, we need a thing as the subject. Das klappt schon. It will work out. With schaffen, we have a person as the subject. Du schaffst das schon. That's the important difference here. Function number 9, modal particle in statements. That's the second one. Here it's used to show contrast, and it's usually followed by the conjunction word aber. Let's take a look. Es ist schon schön hier, aber ein bisschen laut. It's like a tongue twister. Schon schön. Almost the same except for the umlaut. It is nice here, but a bit loud. So here we have a contrast. It is nice here, but then positive, but then something negative comes after aber. It's usually used in this way. Schon in the first part, and then we get aber. In English, you would normally have the word do in here. Yeah, I do know that, but the do doesn't work with the verb to be, so here it's not possible. It is nice here, but a bit loud. That would be a good intonation, I guess, for the English sentence. Es ist schon schön hier, aber ein bisschen laut. Now there is another word in German that has the same meaning. We also use it in the first part. In the second part we get aber. Very, very same meaning, and that's zwar. Es ist zwar schön hier, aber ein bisschen laut. Also the word zwar we commonly combine with the word aber in the next part, in the next clause. Das war schon lustig, aber auch etwas peinlich. Yeah, that was funny, but also a bit embarrassing. So etwas means ein bisschen. So etwas can also mean something. Two meanings. It can mean something, but also ein bisschen, a bit. It was a bit embarrassing. Das war schon lustig, aber auch etwas peinlich. Number 10. It's a modal particle in statements, part 3. This time it's used to show that you're surprised at something. Let's take a look. Das war schon krass. Wow, that was quite something. Krass is a word we use in spoken German a lot, and it means that you're surprised, you're shocked, something like that. And schon, you can add that to give it more of this color, that you're surprised, that you're shocked. So the meaning here is wow. In one word, das war schon krass. Wow, how did he do that? How did she do that? How is that possible? Das war echt krass, das war schon krass. Second example, du bist schon wieder hier. You're here again. Here you're surprised, in this case a bit, in a negative way, I guess. And oh Gott, ich bin genervt, ich bin überrascht. That's the meaning here that schon has. And for the 11th and last meaning, it's again a modal particle, this time in questions. So first we had a modal particle in imperatives, in orders, number 7. For 8, 9, 10, we had modal particles in statements, but 3 different meanings. And now for 11, we use it as a modal particle, but in questions. And here it's used to indicate that it's a rhetorical question. So you're not expecting an answer, basically. That's what it means. Was soll das schon bringen? What good is that supposed to do? It's not a real question, so you don't really expect an answer. It's just something you say like that. And it means, das bringt bestimmt nichts. That's what you think when you say that. I'm sure, bestimmt, surely, or I'm sure, surely that won't do any good. Das bringt bestimmt nichts. Next example. Was kann da schon schiefgehen? So schiefgehen, to go wrong. And here, was kann da schon schiefgehen? It's a rhetorical question again, not a real question. And it means that you think that nothing can go wrong. Da geht bestimmt nichts schief. I'm sure nothing will go wrong. Surely nothing will go wrong. So don't forget our spring sale. Links are down below. And I'll see you in the next video.